In the countryside in late winter, especially on farmland, there is often not enough natural seed food left for wild birds. This causes a hungry gap between February and April, when farmland birds can't find food easily, so they lose condition or starve before they have a chance to breed in spring. This is one of several reasons why many of our buntings, finches and other farmland game and songbirds have declined historically. Research tells us that supplementary feeding for birds in winter leads to better winter survival and breeding success. A ready supply of nutritious food means their body condition is improved, they waste less energy foraging, and their time exposed to predators is reduced. Therefore, supplementary feeding has become a widespread management tool for declining farmland birds. To target a range of farmland birds, a mixture of large and small grains should be fed. This is because the birds have different beak shapes and sizes, each adapted for the seed heads of particular groups of plants. We recommend your mixture contain seeds such as wheat, sunflower, millet, kale, linseed and oilseed rape. There are two main ways to feed: broadcasting and using hoppers and feeders. Broadcasting can be done by hand or by using a hanging portable feeder with an automatic spinner on it. We recommend spreading seed in wild bird seed crops, as their supply of grain is normally diminished by February. You can also chuck it on free-draining firm areas like tracks, field margins or rides. Put food out regularly in broadly the same locations, and do it in the morning to ensure as much as possible is eaten before dusk, when rats, deer and badgers are more active. Monitor the uptake and adjust the amount you spread accordingly. The great thing about broadcasting is any type of food can be spread, any location can be reached, and all birds can feed this way, whereas only some will use hoppers. If you want to use feeders, to cater for all types and behaviour of birds, we recommend having some feeders that dispense seed from the base to feed species like grey partridges, and feeders with ports which small songbirds can perch at. A maximum capacity of 30 kilos will allow you to move it a stone's throw every 10 days. This is very important to prevent rats establishing underneath and to minimise spread of bird disease. Choose one that can't be knocked over and has features that repel non-target species, such as wire cage excluders and specialised feeding ports. A benefit of using feeders is that they store grain for a long time and keep the food dry and clean, and they work 24/7. However, it will attract rats and other animals who will do their best to break in, and they will be a disease hotspot if they're not moved regularly. The best location for your feeders depends on whether or not you control rats. If you do, and we strongly recommend you do, you can place the feeder within or alongside cover such as a hedgerow. If you don't control rats, put the feeder in open fields at least 40 metres away from permanent cover. You're more likely to attract a higher proportion of corvids and pigeons, but ultimately you will have to weigh this against rats. Wherever you put them, make sure they are fully accessible by vehicle so you can fill them up easily. Remember, declining farmland birds are proven to benefit from supplementary feeding, so it's worth the effort. It's better to maintain fewer feeders that are well managed rather than many feeders that are poorly managed. So how do you know you're doing it right? Well, hopefully you'll see that the numbers of birds have increased around feeding areas and that they breed more successfully. If you're feeding birds but not getting the right outcome, don't give up. Many issues can be dealt with through a smart approach to feeder design and management. Our guidelines for successful feeding are available online. If you would like specific advice, for example you want to target a particular species, or you're not having much success, or you have a large amount of land or a shoot, it may benefit you to have a chat with a GWCT advisor to come up with the right feeding strategy for you and to point you towards useful courses and events. We hope you found this a useful starting point for feeding birds. We'll be making more of these videos, so stay up to date with GWCT by signing up to our newsletter.